Continuing on with the course information from the syllabus, I want to talk about the course assignments and the grades. This is a very important chart that you'll see here. It tells you all the assignments that have points associated with them and then their associated point values. So take a look at these. I'll talk about each in just a moment. The course is a total of 1,000 points, so it's pretty easy at the end of the semester to kind of figure out your total grade. You just take the whole number, you round your grade to the nearest whole number, the points, and then you use this grade scale here to determine your grade. Notice that I do use plus minus systems here. So keep track of your grade throughout the semester. You can use the Canvas gradebook to do that. You can also, of course, calculate your grade manually when I grade each one of your assignments. Know that I try to update the gradebook throughout the semester periodically, but I don't do it instantaneously. And if you don't submit an assignment, there's a chance either I haven't yet graded it or I just missed putting the 0 into that spot. It won't factor it as a 0 until I put a 0 into the grade book. So if you didn't turn in an assignment, you should expect a 0 on that. Even if I haven't put the 0 in. I'll try to keep that up as the semester goes, but don't look at the gradebook uncritically. If you missed an assignment and I've yet to grade it, that will eventually become a 0 once I do grade it. But pay attention to your grades throughout the semester. It's pretty easy. You can do so in Canvas. With late assignments, I'm generally able to give some leeway when it comes in a few minutes past the deadline. You'll notice that a lot of the deadlines are at midnight. I'm rarely up at midnight grading, so you have some leeway to get it in there before I would even notice. But don't wait too long. You should expect a 0 for all late and missed assignments. Remember that uploading videos to YouTube can take a bit of time, so take that into account. If you need an extension on assignments, I'm able to give them to you generally. Only in rare situations would I not. But you have to communicate with me ahead of the due date so that I can improve the extension and change the assignment settings for you so that you can turn it in late. If I don't approve your extension before the due date, you should, of course, expect to receive a 0 on that assignment. Whoa, well, I guess it's nighttime now. So I don't know how to switch that, so we're just going to leave it in power save mode here. Sorry about that. There are 3 graded speeches this semester: a speech of introduction, an informative speech, and a persuasive speech. And for each of these speech assignments, I will post extensively about them in Canvas. There will be a Word document that you can download. That's the assignment prompt that will also contain a rubric of evaluation that will show you exactly how I'm evaluating the speech. There'll be a detailed video lecture where I'll discuss what to expect in the speech, and I'll give you sample speech outlines to help you draft your speech ahead of time. Please note the following speech submission requirements. The speech submission is going to be 11:59 p.m. Of the day that the speech is due, and you can see that on the course calendar, which we'll talk about briefly here. And you'll submit to Canvas a YouTube link to your speech. So you'll need to have uploaded your video to YouTube, and then you'll submit the link to Canvas. When you're posting your YouTube videos, make sure you set them as either public or unlisted. Unlisted is recommended. Unlisted means that it won't be shown anywhere public. You'd have to have a direct link to it to get to it. You're going to give me the direct link, so unlisted will work. If you want to list it as public, that means that anybody theoretically could be able to stumble upon your video. But don't set your video on YouTube to private, please. If you miss the speech assignments, you should expect a 0. Again, remember, I can make arrangements ahead of time with you, so if it looks like you're not going to make it, reach out. I can give you the leeway you need. But makeup speeches aren't guaranteed unless you made those prior arrangements. So if you're late on a speech submission, I'm going to probably ask for some documentation of whatever it is that caused you to miss that deadline. And even if you have documentation for it, if you're not communicating with me and I'm not able to give you the leeway, you should expect a 0. So I don't guarantee a score for late submissions. I do try to work with you. For each of the speeches, you will create a speech outline. So there'll be 3 speech outlines due before each of the speeches. The speech outlines are due a few days before the speech video is due. And you can see those due dates on the course calendar. Note the following requirements for the outline submissions. There will be, I recommend that you use Microsoft Word or another word processor so that you can have a .doc, a .docx, or a .pdf. If you need Microsoft Word, you can get it for free from CSN. Please do so, and you can follow that link there. I'm not going to grade your video, your speech video, if you don't upload your speech outline to Canvas by the due date. So the outline's due before the speech video, but if you don't submit the outline, I'm not going to accept your video. So it's important that you prepare the outline ahead of time. My purpose for collecting these outlines is not to give you feedback before your speech. Instead, it's to force conditions where you have multiple days to rehearse your speech. I only grade the outlines for general formatting. If you want content-related feedback on your outline, then you're going to have to reach out to me well ahead of time of the due date, and then I will give you some feedback there. All right. There will be 2 assignments this semester that will have you watch other students' speeches and then give them some feedback. These will take place on a discussion board on Canvas, and they'll have instructions for how you go about it. But essentially, everybody's going to share their link to that board. You'll get some partial points for sharing the link, and then you're going to watch 2 other students' speeches and give them some feedback, and you'll get some points for responding thoughtfully to those speeches. There will be reading comprehension quizzes. I believe there's 14 of them worth 10 points each throughout the semester, and those are directly associated with the course readings in the course text that I showed you earlier. You will need the lockdown browser to use that, to take those quizzes, and there's some instructions for how to download the lockdown browser for you on Canvas. So please take a look at that before the first chapter quiz is going to be due at the end of the second week. If you run into technological problems with the Respondus lockdown browser, you can call the help desk and they'll be able to help you with it. But I'd recommend just restarting your computer and making sure all the applications are closed and then running the lockdown browser. The lockdown browser, what it does is basically it makes sure that you can't use any other applications on your computer. Basically, you can only take the quiz on the computer while running the lockdown browser. So that's what I ask that you use while you're taking the quizzes. Otherwise, it's open notes if you have them, but you got to run the lockdown browser. There will be 3 concept quizzes. Those are like short answer quizzes, little higher level thinking, and those will be throughout the semester as well, associated with course readings. A plagiarism quiz, one quiz that will focus on just understanding what plagiarism is. There'll be a final exam at the end of the semester. No midterm exam, so there's 14 quizzes and then a final exam. For speeches 1, 2, and 3, I'll ask that ahead of time you submit the topic and thesis statement, and I'll review those and give you approval, so that way you know you're heading down the right path, and I'll allow you to make some revisions on those based on my feedback as well. There are My Coyote Success workshops that I'll have you take here. There's going to be one coming right away here called Communicating Effectively Online, and then there's 2 others that will come later in the semester. There's links to it and directions for how to find these workshops available on Canvas. But essentially, you'll take this workshop, you'll get a certificate of completion, and then you'll submit that certificate of completion to Canvas. There'll be some discussion boards, mostly dealing with speech topics and kind of brainstorming speech topics, and those can be found on Canvas as well. Those will be graded. All right, so that is the course assignments and course information. I'm going to pick up right here, course policies and resources, in the next video.